So Ash, we were talking a little bit about the company you've built, team you've built, and the success, but take me back to the early days and your history of kind of how you got into the real estate.
Basically, before coming into commercial real estate about 11, 12 years ago, I had another business, an operating company, manufacturing, distribution in plastics and packaging, and sold it to a private equity group after I owned it for about 15 years. So I was investing at that time on a passive basis in commercial real estate. Pretty much in the last 10 years, got involved investing actively, and we are basically asset agnostic, but multifamily is our main space. And
Sweet spot.
Exactly, the sweet spot. And we are in about 18 different states,
Great.
almost about 2 billion in AUM, 63 different properties. But yeah, that's how we just kept growing year after year over the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm curious to know because obviously you're based in the great state of Texas.
Yes, Houston.
Obviously you've been through cycles too, right?
That's right.
I'm sure. So tell me a little bit about what you look for in different markets. Maybe, do you like to have boots on the ground? Do you trust a lot of other partners? Tell me a little about your thesis and your thought process.
That's a great question, Chris. So essentially, partners are more important than the assets or the location. So we do a lot of JVs, joint ventures with different sponsors, and we come in as balance sheet supporter for signing of the loans, bringing in institutional equity, debt, a lot of the relationships we have with family offices, private equity groups. So we're more of the capital guys. So what we really look for is the experience of the sponsor. We usually get invited to different deals to come in and partner and help in taking a deal to the finish line. So yeah, it's much more important for us to have the right partner and their experience more than the city or the asset types.
Got it. Interesting. And because that's a lot of states. So when you started off, did you think you'd be in that many states?
No, not really. We initially, of course, focused on Texas and all over Austin, Dallas, Houston, Amarillo, Corpus, San Antonio, and so on, and started going in the other Sunbelt states. Florida, we're quite active in Arizona now, Vegas, Carolinas, Georgias, and so on. Then we started moving to further north to other states. So we are now, like I was saying, in about 18 different states. Yeah.
So tell me about this, as you have grown, tell me about, you were successful in other businesses, but have you had mentors and other leaders who supported you in your journey in real estate?
In commercial real estate, not really. It was a lot of learning, as you kind of go along. Obviously, like I was saying, when I sold my earlier business, I kind of knew how to build up businesses, take it to exit and things like that. With the PE group, I had quite a bit of understanding about how institutional capital works. Since we are asset agnostic, you're constantly learning. When we are participating in a hotel acquisition, our sponsors or partners are experts in hotels or in multifamily or in industrial or senior housing. So it's a lot of learning as you go along, but the capital side always remains the same, right? So
now, obviously you mentioned 60 plus properties. Do you have a favorite that you've just really, got excited about? You think about a lot. Is there some place, some city that you really like to visit and to see?
Yeah, so again, we like the Phoenix market a lot. We like certain parts of Florida quite a bit. A lot of places in Texas are actually great markets. Again, when we look at different properties, it's not about the favorite, but for us, it's like having different children. You want to. There's no favorites as such.
Sure.
You're just being focused to make sure that we stick with the game plan, the business plan, and it does not get derailed.
Your favorite sounds like the process. That's your favorite.
So. Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear maybe a little bit about your superpower or your team's superpower. What's made you all so successful? Because, going through cycles, you have to kind of look into your crystal ball. What is it that puts you and your team ahead and continues to be successful?
So I think we do a lot of due diligence before getting into a deal. And like I was saying earlier, more than the asset type or the geography, it's really the partners who we do our JVs with, joint ventures with. So their experience, how their track record has been. I think those are more important things. I mean, we bring in the financial know-how and the relationships with the different institutional capital players, but it's really, I think, the experience of the partners. So a lot of our partners, we have done multiple deals with them because once we like a partner, then we like to make it a programmatic relationship.
One of the other things, obviously, there's a lot of discussion today about technology. I rode in an autonomous vehicle this morning, and what kind of effect that's going to have on properties. But I'm curious to get your take. How do you all think about technology? Is it something you leave up to your properties, or do you try to have your thumb on the pulse?
We kind of like to have our thumb on it. As you know, a lot of real estate in a lot of ways is not that tech focused. But now, so one of the companies that we have supported is 3D printing of for modular construction, and that's something where it's a cost-effective process of building homes or multifamily. So we like to kind of see what's the new thing out there. Smart locks, right? Energy-wise, how to keep things, less expensive, things of that sort. So we kind of,
It's good to have to understand what's coming, what's good for now versus what's good for next quarter, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about, what's coming up. Maybe you're very optimistic on for next year. Is there anything that's big for you, either during the holidays or as you look forward to next year?
Sure. Well, first of all, I think with the whole new political situation coming up, I think it's going to be very favorable for commercial real estate in general. I think in the last couple of years, a lot of turmoil and turbulence has gone through. It's been tough navigating through all the challenges, but I think things are kind of settling down. So we're very optimistic. Literally, in a lot of states, especially the Sunbelt states, we're very optimistic. We have a number of projects in the pipeline. This goes for industrial properties, multifamily properties, converting hotels to multifamily.
Wow.
So, quite diversified portfolio of different asset types. We've done quite a few properties already. We've been involved for the last, 6-7 years, and now I think we would accelerate the growth much faster, I think, in the next 4 years.
What about, you talked about changing from hotels. What about adaptive reuse on office buildings? Do you see that, or is that a much more complex?
Well, office conversion is much more complex. Definitely, converting a hotel into multifamily is doable, and you cannot convert all of them, but a lot of them you can. Office is a space that is very challenging. We have a couple of office buildings which we are always trying to navigate through and put more TLC. Some of them into MOB, medical office buildings, those are actually doing well, and we have a couple of those assets, and we're very happy with those, and occupancy is up. So because healthcare in general is doing well. So medical office buildings are okay. But pretty much again, in any of these asset types, retail, self-storage, the opportunities are there. It's just, you have to buy it at the right price, execute the business plan properly, just have the right people and so on.
Well, thank you so much, Ash.
Thank you, Chris.
Meeting with us, and all the best.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kim. Thanks.